Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, Friend, Beloved God, Great Masters, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Sri Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswar Ji, Beloved Guru, Paramhansa Yogananda Ji, Friend and Guide, Swami Kriyananda Ji, we humbly bow at thy feet. Divine Masters, we invite your presence, your blessings, your power, your healing energy to flow through us, to be with us. Open our hearts and mind to thy presence. Awaken within us the longing, the yearning to be with thee, in our thoughts, in our words, in our actions. We are your children. Bring us home to thee. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I will just make sure the volume is good. Okay, I hope everybody can hear. And today our topic is, as Bindu said, the healing power of self-control. I know Jayaji addressed the topic on addiction a few months back. I won't go in that direction. Addiction is a extreme manifestation of lack of self-control. But there are other aspects of self-control that I want to share with all of us today. And I am reminded of this quote. I will start with this quote of Paramhansa Yogananda. It's such a beautifully, visually, evocative quote. He says, roam in the world like a lion of self-control. Don't let the frogs of weaknesses kick you around. That's so beautiful. I'll repeat it. Roam in the world like a lion of self-control. Don't let the frogs of weaknesses kick you around. And I just so enjoyed that visual imagery that Paramhansa Yogananda ji paints in that quote. And you can just feel, the frogs of weaknesses kicking us around so mercilessly. And we're crying, it's so painful and so much suffering. But he's saying we have within us the seeds of self-control that can help us to be like a lion, to roam in this world without fear, without care, and total abandonment in God, not in this world. We roam currently in total abandonment in sensual pleasures, hoping for fulfillment from things outside of us. And that's where the heart of our misery lies. Why do we lack self-control? We all of us, I presume, here are meditators. We know techniques of meditation. We understand the need for meditation. We also, to some degree, would have experienced the benefits of meditation. And meditation is the most direct tool, pathway that we have to overcome any obstacle in our way, any weaknesses within us. There is no greater power, friends. So if we think, I don't have time to meditate, we must rethink. We must recall to ours those moments when we feel helpless by our limitations, when we feel so weak that we feel, oh, I'm not good at this. I can't handle this. I can't take this anymore. We need to remind ourselves of those moments and then ask ourselves, really, do I really have the option of not meditating? If we want freedom from, as Mahavatar Babaji says, from dire fears and colossal sufferings, we must make the time to meditate. That's where our inner strength, our power, the energy to be in control of ourselves, to overcome any weaknesses come from. Meditation is the medication that we have with us. So, but that's the solution. I want to come to the question, how does a lack of self-control manifest in our lives? Very often, most often, most of the time, restlessness shows a lack of self-control. Complaints, and I often share this story of my own journey with complaints. And it has been fascinating for me too, to look at what it takes when we want to overcome something. And especially when something is deep-rooted within us and we are making the effort to rise above, the challenges it poses to us, when we try to open our hearts to the opposite quality. It's not easy, friends, but at the same time, even a little effort in that direction towards a higher consciousness, towards the opposite aspect of duality, brings us freedom. And that experience of the joy that comes, I won't say bliss comes when you made a great when you made a great victory. But I've experienced those little spurts of joy that comes when today, I was able to withstand uh, losing myself in a particular situation, and the joy that comes from it is so great, and it gives you the energy for that next step. But it comes only through practice. It is not enough to just philosophically understand. It's not enough to just intellectually think to ourselves, okay, I'm going to practice this when the time comes. You know what? We will not have the power. To practice self-control needs inner strength. And it goes both ways. Practicing it brings us self-control. Exercising self-control also helps us to practice self-control and become strong in that practice. And over the years, I have seen it brings discipline. It brings a greater accession of energy that is otherwise just dissipated in that endless chase towards wishful expectations, that might work, or this might work, or I think that will help me, or that will help me. And Master Yogananda ji makes it very clear that as long as we are looking for help outside of ourselves, we are never going to be happy. And so likewise, we can say we can never be in control, because we cannot control circumstances. We cannot control anything outside of ourselves. The one thing that we can control is our attitudes, how our consciousness chooses to manifest itself in every moment, in every breath. And this is another important aspect of practicing self-control. The choices that we make, making an intention of them, and not just making choices through our whims and fancies and habits of the past and samskars and tendencies. Those are the frogs of weaknesses kicking us around. And we know those moments when they come. We're just leaning towards something, and that's the moment when you want to pause and ask yourself, well, wait a minute, is this the right thing for me to do? Or am I doing this because I enjoy doing it, I like doing it? Now, it's good to enjoy what we do, but if we are enjoying or liking or looking forward to something because there is a selfish motive behind it, then you know that it is biased towards um, uh, a journey away from the higher self. So self-control can also be defined as where the higher self takes control of our lives, where higher choices takes control of our lives, where we allow the higher self to take charge of our life. We bring in, as Krishna said, we bring in Lord Krishna, as he says in the Gita, as long as you invite me, as long as you think you can do it, I will wait and watch. But the moment you invite me, I will come in and take charge of our life. And he source friends of our self. And without God, without Krishna by our side, without the masters by our side, it is very hard. And I'm not playing it down. It is not easy. We are coming from the momentum of millions of incarnation, 8 million and more, and counting. Because even now, if we are not in God, we are creating karma. Even if it is good karma, if ultimately for liberation, we have to transcend even the sattva guna. We have to transcend even good actions. We have to go beyond the three gunas, three guna rahitam. That's liberation. So I want to bring to our mind a beautiful point that Swami Kriyananda ji makes in his book, The New Path. He says the purpose of everything we do is not, it is to do things for God, but more than anything else, he says, I'm paraphrasing him, he says, it is to purify our own hearts. Isn't that a beautiful statement? He says the purpose of every work we do for God is to purify our hearts. And why is that important? Because in our heart is the source of all our discontent, of all our weaknesses, the likes and dislikes that are lodged in the centers of our spine, and especially in the feelings of our heart. That makes us run here and there and everywhere but our own center. So he says it's to purify our hearts, and that is where all the techniques and tools of yoga, all the principles, spiritual principles that we are trying to align ourselves with, it leads us to that goal of purifying our heart. And what does it mean to purify our heart? To purify our heart means in little steps, in great steps, if we have that inner strength and clarity. It means to lean away from our likes and dislikes to one single question: what does God want of me? As the practice of brahmacharya tells us, to flow with Brahma. This is the height of self-control, to flow with Brahma, to flow with divine will, to flow with God's consciousness that is trying to express, that is trying to break through our fog of limitations and to express itself as light, as power in this world. We have everything, friends. The universe is ours, and we will do an affirmation of self-control towards the end. And that affirmation says, I'm strong in myself. I am complete in myself. It's when we labor with that sense of incompleteness that we struggle with lack of self-control. And the more we affirm to ourselves and the more we bring into our daily life that affirmation, I'm strong in myself, I am complete in myself, then we are content in ourselves. And it is from that space of contentment inside us that we begin to put forth our victories, our goals, our fulfillment. Everything comes from that inner center. And when it comes from that inner center, that's when we experience true fulfillment, friends. Otherwise, it's all fleeting sense pleasures. Today you like this, tomorrow you don't like it. And, the flyer which shows, very common areas where we experience lack of self-control, when we are in a mood, okay, let's go shopping. Or, sometimes we tend to go, what's that food that I can eat that will just lift my spirits? I sometimes do that. And it does work temporarily, but that is where we need to affirm that's not the solution. That can temporarily lift your energy, but quickly bring yourself back to meditation. And that is why Master would say, whenever you find yourself in trouble, whenever you find yourself in the throes of weaknesses, he would say, sit down and meditate. Because the power comes from God and God alone. We have to keep that channel between God and ourselves open. We have to open the doors. And as Christ says, ask and it shall be given to you. Knock and it shall be opened. Pray and you shall receive. God is ever there, waiting, near, as Master said, nearer than the near and dearer than the dearest thoughts. God is right there. He wants to help us. He wants to enjoy himself through us. Remember, friends, that is the true beginning of creation. He wants to enjoy himself through us. And all that we need, all that we are seeking is there in him alone. We need to clear our mind of the delusion. Our heart needs to be purified of the delusion that I'll find strength or power or happiness in something out there. That's the first thought we want to draw back. Withdraw the energy from that stream of delusion and remind ourselves it's right within me. I'm already complete. With that, I want us to quickly do an affirmation. Let's close our eyes and we will repeat 4 times mentally, holding our gaze, our attention at the point between the eyebrows, and with deep concentration, feeling the power behind the words, inviting the masters to say this affirmation through us. I am strong in myself. I am complete in myself. The joy and perfection of the universe await discovery within my inner being. I am strong in myself. I am complete in myself. The joy and perfection of the universe await discovery within my inner being. I am strong in myself. I am complete in myself. The joy and perfection of the universe await discovery within my inner being. And one last time, feeling, visualizing the words, manifest as your being I am strong in myself. I am complete in myself. The joy and perfection of the universe await discovery within my inner being. Let's feel that inner world awakening to divine power, to divine light. Let's close with this prayer. I crave nothing that the world can give me, Lord. O infinite perfection, make me one with Thee. And this is the height of self-control, friends, to be in God. Then we are in control of ourselves. Then the higher self is in charge of our lives. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.